Hi there, I'm Tom, and welcome to... Well, I'm going to call this the first real channel update, since the one I posted at the beginning of this week wasn't really a proper channel update. It was just a bit of text saying, no videos this week, back on Sunday. So, yeah, as you probably noticed from my Titanfall video at the beginning of this week, I kind of had a bit of problems producing enough content for the week, and it's not necessarily the Titanfall stuff. I could have done more Titanfall stuff if I'd wanted to. I could have recorded on Sunday and rushed them out. It was kind of a combination between getting really disheartened at the Titanfall disparity in that match, and also I was kind of rushing. I hadn't got my next Dota episode, I hadn't got a proper win for that yet, and so I would have to kind of rush that one out as well, and I just really wanted a break to kind of look at what I'm doing in the channel and how much time it's taking me and how I can make things easier on myself, basically. And I kind of came to a couple of decisions, but I think since this is the first proper channel update, I should probably go back and talk about some of the other changes which I didn't really officially announce. Back when I started this channel, I started the channel for one reason and one reason only, and that is because my work-life balance was really out of whack. Like, I tried everything I could think of to give myself some time to have fun and relax and not focus on work, and every single thing I tried failed because work would just creep in. It's just like, just one more task and then I'll take this allotted time off to have fun, or just one more thing. I just need to do one more thing, and it was always like that. And eventually I worked out that I am not good at just taking time and relaxing. I need to be working all the time. So I came up with this YouTube idea. It was kind of a combination of two things. I was looking around for another method to kind of keep me focused and actually force myself to have fun, as ridiculous as that sounds, to force myself to relax. And then all of a sudden I had this idea for a YouTube series, which I called A Noob Improves, where I would basically play games that I sucked at but I enjoyed and try and get better at those games. And that's what I did, basically. I set up the channel, I started playing Dota and Titanfall, both of which are games which I really did suck at right at the beginning. And I think the part of the idea was the Do I Suck At series, which is kind of a precursor to the A Noob Improves At, and the idea was that I would possibly focus on Titanfall and Dota, and then I would, I don't know, just kind of maybe occasionally do another Do I Suck At video and introduce a new game, or do a few episodes on a new game. But that didn't really happen. I spent all my time on Dota and Titanfall, which is fine. I really enjoy both of those games, and just having time to play games and everything was a bonus. And it worked really well, because I made a commitment to get 2 episodes out a day, 2 episodes out a week, and that commitment really hammered home for me that I need to be doing this. I need to be taking time off and relaxing and playing games so that I can get these videos out. So it kind of turned relaxation time into work, but in a positive way. It wasn't that I was actually working, and I really enjoyed it and it did relax me, but at the same time it was a commitment that I could use to kind of make sure I didn't cheap out on it, because I had to get these videos out. I couldn't then not get them out, which meant that I had to play the games, if that makes sense. So that's why I started this channel, and I said all along that I don't really mind if I get no views, and indeed, especially when Titanfall is concerned, I do get very few views on that series, and Dota I get a small number of views, but the analytics, like the drop-off rates, are fairly bad. So yeah, I said right at the beginning that I wasn't doing this for the views or to get popular or anything, and I think that's how you've got to start YouTube, because if you go into it saying I really want to turn this into a career and make money out of it, you're gonna be disappointed, because there's a huge amount of luck involved in that and a huge amount of hard work. I've been going about 6 months now, and I can see that my views are slowly climbing up, but it's very slow progress, and if I was kind of banking on this to become my new career, then it's probably going to take another 3 or 4 years before I actually get to that point. So yeah, I always went into this saying it's more about what I can get out of it than what I can give to other people, so to speak. If I can entertain other people at the same time, then that's fantastic. But yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking of at the time. And that's why I started the channel. 2 videos a week, and not much else really. And then I started making some changes. Good changes, I might add, to try and improve the quality of the content that I was producing on the channel. So I mentioned in some of the Titanfall videos that I upgraded my motherboard and processor in order to sort of really try and get the best quality footage I could, and also so that I could play Titanfall and record it without having a lack of processor space or processor power really hampering me in that respect. So I did that probably sometime before Christmas. I did that, and then about the 15th of January I uploaded custom thumbnails, and I think at that time I tweaked the title layout of all the old videos as well, because until that point I had different title formats for both the Titanfall and the Dota, and I don't know quite how that started. I think I may have just, when I was writing up the second title, I guess, I did it in a different format and didn't realise, and then I just ran with it. But when I uploaded all the previous thumbnails, I decided to kind of go back and make everything look much more similar. And I'm still not completely happy with the titles, because ideally I want the name of the game right up there, right at the front of the title, and unfortunately I chose a rather verbose series title in A Noob Improves, which you can't really put anywhere else in the title, I don't think, unless I put it in square brackets right at the end, which is a possibility, but the whole thing is supposed to be A Noob Improves at Titanfall or A Noob Improves at Dota. That's kind of the branding and the catch of the title, so of the series, of the channel, and everything like that. So there's not really any way that I can do that without kind of sacrificing the channel branding, so I think I'm just going to have to put up with it and make sure Titanfall and Dota are clear in the thumbnails, I guess. So there's that. The thumbnails I'm also not too happy with. I think I'm much more happy with the Titanfall thumbnail, which I produced for, what was it, the Conflicted episode, which just went up. I think I'm much more happy with that, and I may start doing that for both Dota and Titanfall now. Unfortunately, Dota, I have every thumbnail that I could need for Dota. I kind of produced them all at once, And that's a shame, because now if I want to change them, not only do I have to go and redo the back ones, but I also have to do the kind of 50, 60 odd that I've already done ahead of time. So I think what I'll do if I, what am I trying to say? If I do change the Dota thumbnails, then I will only change up to this point, and I'll create them on a weekly basis like I do with the Titanfall ones. And I also, yesterday, I spent a lot of time creating an end slate and a thumbnail for one of the new series that I'm doing, and I quite like the look of those. They're very different from the Dota and Titanfall ones, but I think they'll work really well for this series. So, talking of the end slate, that, well, did I mention the date? The thumbnails all happened around the 15th of January. End slates happened about 3 weeks later, I think, about the 2nd of February. That's when the first video with an end slate went live, and I really like the end slates because they give you a visual indication of what the previous and next episodes will be. They're kind of catchy, and they give me a way to link people back and forth. But the main problem with these end slates is that they take so long to do, because each 10-second clip takes me about an hour to get. Yes, it really does take me that long, and there's 2 on every episode, so that's 2 hours, but luckily one of them will be used again, so really each episode I only spend an hour on it, but that's an awful lot of time to be spending on it, and I need to get quicker at that, and I will do with more time. But yeah, they happened around the 7th of February, I'm really happy with those. And then about the 16th of February, I started uploading 6 videos a week. And I didn't really announce this because at first it was just like, oh, I have all this extra footage, I may as well upload some extra videos and see how it goes. And that quickly transitioned into, this is a thing that I'm going to do for the rest of the channel's lifetime. Which kind of put a lot more stress on me to actually produce the videos. It went from producing 2 videos a week to producing 6 videos a week, which is 3 times the work, but it's kind of a bit more than that, because I can produce, if I'm really on point, I can produce 6 Dota videos in one day, going from having no footage whatsoever to playing the matches, recording the matches, doing the commentaries, doing the editing, doing the clips and doing the thumbnails. I can, if I'm really working hard, I can do all of that in one day, and they're ready to start uploading. And they take about 3 hours to upload. Never really more than 4 hours to upload if my internet's a bit slow. So that's pretty good. Dota's a completely different story. Dota will take me an average of 3 games to get a game that I'm happy to do a commentary on. And each game takes about an hour to do. Then I've got to spend another hour doing the commentary over it, and another hour getting the clip from it, which is already 5 hours put into it. And then it takes about, I don't know, half an hour to an hour with just general editing tasks and stuff like that. So that's already 6 hours. Then it takes easily 2 or 3 hours to render out the videos into a format that I can actually start to upload. So right here we're looking at 8 or 9 hours per video. Which, oh yeah, and beyond that it takes up to, on a bad day, it takes up to 10 hours to upload a video if it's, I think the Enchantress video I did was 1 hour 15 minutes, and that took about 10 hours to upload. With my internet speed on a good day, I get about 3 hours per gigabyte file size, and Dota videos tend to be between 2 and 3 gigabytes at the moment. So yeah, they take a long time to upload. So just in terms of production, without uploading, it takes as long to produce a single Dota video as it does to produce 6 Titanfall videos. and I'm trying to do this 3 times a week. So that's kind of where I got a bit behind. That's really starting to stress me out, getting these videos out. So yeah, I kind of decided I'm going to drop back to... I'm just going to go back to the roots of the channel. There will be a Titanfall episode on a Wednesday, and there will be a Dota episode on a Saturday. But I am still going to upload 6 videos a week, don't worry about that. I have 2 new series. As I mentioned earlier, I was doing the thumbnails for one of them yesterday, and that will be Theme Hospital. Theme Hospital will only be the first game in this series. This series is called Unfinished Business. Because when I was younger, I spent a vast amount of time playing games. I would probably spend the majority of a Saturday or a Sunday playing games. I would get home from school and do all my homework really quickly so that I could spend the entire evening playing games. I would do homework at lunchtime at school so that I would have less to do when I got home. It was an enormous part of my life, and I spent a lot of time playing games. But I rarely actually ever finished the games I was playing. It's this weird thing. I would just be almost ADD about it. I would get near the end of a game and then get distracted by something, like a new game out or something else I wanted to be doing, and a lot of games I never actually finished, like, what is it? Firefighters, I think it was called. I never finished that one. I don't think I ever finished Gex. What else? Theme Hospital, I never finished that. I would always get to a certain point, and then I think with Theme Hospital, because it was a PC game and not a console game, I would get to the point where I would just... the computer I was using would break down or something, and then would get another computer, or it would just get generally replaced as it got a bit old. But at that time I wasn't quite so technically adept as I am now, so I didn't really know about transferring save files. I wouldn't even know where to look for them, and so every time I got a new computer I'd have to start again, and I probably wouldn't feel like doing that straight away, so I'd leave it for a while, and that just kind of continued. It doesn't help, of course, that the later levels were absolutely terrifyingly difficult on hard mode. And yes, I did play everything on hard mode. So, yes, this new series, Unfinished Business, is basically me going back and completing some of my childhood games. After I do Theme Hospital, I will be going on to the Tomb Raider series from start to finish. I think I finished the first Tomb Raider game, but that's only because I went back to it like a while later when I was much older, and I finished it there. And then I moved on to try and finish the second game, and I think the second game... In fact, I may have actually finished the second game as well. But I definitely never completed the third one, I never completed the fourth one, I never completed the fifth one. And... yeah, I really want to complete these games. I did, however, finish Angel of Darkness, but that's not worth completing, really. It wasn't a bad game, but they made a lot of design decisions which I wasn't really happy with as a hardcore Tomb Raider fan, and that's really reflected in some of the later games. In fact, let's go on from there. I completed Angel of Darkness, I completed Legend. Legend was a fantastic game, but far too short. I completed Anniversary, another fantastic game. I completed Underworld, again, fantastic game but far too short. What I want them to do, really, is to produce a single game that contains Legend and Underworld, because they essentially run off one to the other. They're a continuous story, so I really, really want them to produce a single game with Legend to Underworld, and perhaps have some of the Legend controls in Underworld, because I seem to remember the Tomb Raider Underworld controls weren't that great. But I'm kind of getting distracted. Yeah, I completed Underworld, and I completed Tomb Raider Redux, which very much like Angel of Darkness, they did a lot wrong, and I don't know very many hardcore Tomb Raider fans who actually really enjoyed that game as a Tomb Raider game. It was a perfectly good game, it was a fantastic cover shooter, it had a fantastic story, but it was not a Tomb Raider game. There wasn't difficult puzzles, it was very, very linear, there wasn't so much exploring. Like, you get these reasonably big areas, but you're kind of really locked into that area, and there's very little to do in that area because it's an island. There isn't like cubby holes and exploration spaces and all sorts of stuff like that. So I was kind of disappointed in that game, although I did finish it to 100%. But I do want to go back and replay the series from the beginning, especially the PS1 era games. And so that's what I'll be doing once I finish Theme Hospital. With Theme Hospital, I intend to play one hospital every episode. Hopefully that will be something I can achieve in... I don't know how long it'll take me. Maybe if it goes much over an hour, then I'm going to cut the episodes in several pieces. But hopefully I'm looking to complete one episode every hour for that series. I don't know how realistic that'll be because I haven't played the game in so long. I will be betraying my former self and playing it on easy or medium mode. I think I'll start off on medium mode and see how it goes. The reason I'm going to be doing this is not because I'm a worse gamer than I was back then, although I probably am because I spend less time gaming, but I'm actually going to be trying to do live commentaries over it, so I will be talking as I'm playing the game instead of talking afterwards. And this has two benefits. Number one is that it's something I've wanted to do for the channel for a long time, and I haven't because, well, you can kind of see how distracted I get just doing a Dota commentary or a Titanfall commentary. As soon as something interesting happens, I forget to speak. And that's kind of going to be amplified so much when I'm actually playing the game. I think Nardcubed did a kind of really unofficial, unscientific test where he was playing, is it 10 Second Ninja? I think that was the game. But he did a level, not speaking at all, not concentrating on the commentary, just doing the level. And then he did it when he was doing the commentary, and he did that a few times, and it kind of worked out to be about 1/3 worse. He was 1/3 worse at the game when he was doing the commentary. So the commentary itself was taking up 1/3 of his mental cognition required to play the game, and I think really the opposite is going to happen with me because I'm not really used to doing that kind of live comp type thing, so I'm probably going to really forget to speak most of the time instead of forgetting to play the game almost, which I'm hoping will not last too long. I'm hoping I will really get into the spirit of the commentary and start reading out everything that's on the screen, and I'll start talking about every single thing I do, because in games, much like in life, I always do something for a reason. I always have a reason to do something, and if I've got a reason to do something, then I have something to talk about. I can say why I'm doing this particular action in this particular order, and so on. I think most of the time it's going to be the panic situations where you get like a dozen people all throwing up at once and it just spreads like an epidemic and there's rats running around and the rooms are all exploding because of the earthquakes. I think that's when it's going to be really difficult for me to focus on the commentary. And I'm going to try really hard to improve on that really quickly, but it is going to be sort of going back to the early days of my channel where I'm not the greatest commentator of all time. I know that there's a lot that I need to improve on, but I certainly have noticed a vast improvement from when I first started making videos. I have gotten a lot better, and that's a good thing. But these live commentaries are going to be pushing that one stage farther, and I'm kind of going to be going back to the worst sort of commentaries to start off with, I think. So hopefully it's not too bad. So that's the first series that I'm going to be taking up. That is hopefully going to be 2 episodes a week. on a Monday and a Thursday. Filling up the Tuesday and the Friday slots will be Grey Goo, which is a real-time strategy game. I've seen a few people play it for brief periods and it looks really fun. I don't recall ever playing a real-time strategy game, but I certainly think it's going to be something which I'll enjoy a great deal, so I'm going to be playing that as well. And that's kind of what I plan for the future. I have spoken for far longer than I ever intended. I thought that this would be about 5-6 minutes long, and it's coming up to 25 minutes, 26 minutes now. So if you have gotten all the way through this update and are still listening, then thank you very much for taking an interest in the channel and for listening to me babble about Tomb Raider instead of actually talking about the channel. And right now I have to go off and edit the podcast so I can upload it right after this video, which it should be up on time. I hope so anyway. And then I've got to go and record 2 Theme Hospital videos. So I have a really busy day, and I will leave you to get on with your day. Until next time, don't feed the trolls.